When you're looking at a harp, there's lots of them out there, and there's lots of different sizes, and you're never quite sure what the actual metrics for a nice harp are until you've been in the presence of one. And why one of the first thing that people comment on when they walk in through the door is, wow, look at the harps. And it's because you don't expect to see them in a high street shop. And actually getting to see a range of them and then like experience them firsthand, it's a great thing to be able to offer. What the Glenluce harps do really well is they give me a perfect talking point about some of the really key features that you're looking for as a harp person, which is, how many strings have I got? What kind of range have I got? As you can see, they're color-coded, so you've got your C notes here, which are your reds, your blue notes, which are your Fs. So if we have the levers up in these positions here, so 2 before the red, 1 before the blue, 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 all the way up. What we've got there is a C major scale, so you've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You basically got all your white notes on a piano, really. It's just straight octaves. And they're colour-coded, so you can kind of see at a glance what ones you're doing. So the levers are one of the key features of a harp which make it playable and usable as a student instrument, or as just like a usable workhorse in general, is how reliable are these at actually shifting that semitone accurately? That's where I think the Glenluce harps, for the money, pound for pound, these are excellent quality levers that are very accurate. You know, and there's been times in my past where I've been fixing harps for people who've got them. You know, you faff around with the sort of the intonation quite considerably, and even then, like, it's usually adjust the intonation with these bits here, but you need to kind of move the actual things up and down to kind of put them into positions which better compensate properly for intonation issues. But I've never had to do that with any of these. They always just come out of the box great. Really good quality soundboard, which is the next thing that makes a harp have that harpness to it. It wants to have that lovely, airy, dreamy sort of sound to it, that lovely sort of ping of the strings where it rings, and actually sort of sounds like a harp. And yeah, the soundboard is a really good quality soundboard, which really puts out a lot of what you expect a harp to sound like. The quality of the strings that it comes with as well. Very nice quality strings, comes with a good gig bag as well. Once it's in tune and, you know, we get to a steady state of weather, they're actually pretty low maintenance if they live in a home environment. It's just when we're in a shop environment and you know, have half your day occupied with people, and then, so yeah, they do have temperature fluctuations, and humidity and temperature are the enemy of harps. You can get a starter Glenluce harp for like sort of 449 for a little 22 stringer. We do like one for 519, which is a 29 stringer, which is really good. Then you sort of the higher quality ones with the really nice levers and the better soundboards. I mean, the 34 string harp here, the Maybury, that is 1349, which isn't a lot for an instrument of this sort of size and quality. You'd be hard pressed to find something which has, you know, as good quality levers, nice soundboard and strings as that for that kind of money. It's good. I sound like such a salesperson, don't I? Yeah. I think there is some things that people don't expect about harp, which is that there's actually a bit of physicality to playing it. The idea is with your fingers, you kind of have runs done with like sort of pulling each string and then pushing with your thumb like that. And you'll be able to like sort of complete runs of scales or by and pulling and things like that. And it's actually it's very difficult to do it. And like when you see a harp player, they've got this like wonderful sort of flowing sort of thing to it, and it is because like you kind of master this like sort of physicality of playing the instrument. And I think that's one of the first things that you really need to get to grips with. I've had the wonderful pleasure of selling someone their first ever harp probably about 2 years ago, and I see her quite regularly now. And I catch up with how she's doing, and like she's playing weddings, and you know she's gone all in on harp, and it's wonderful to see someone like, you know, not really sure, coming in, going, you know what, okay, fine, I'll do it, and then like absolutely thriving. best part of the job, really. The kind of person who is drawn to the harp is generally eccentric, and I think that's wonderful. That's honestly probably one of the hardest things, is finding a harp teacher, especially one that has like sort of spaces available, because like harp teachers in general have always got a fairly chock-a-block stable of students, and yeah, getting in there. You know, and the next hardest thing is actually having an instrument, because you have to be able to practice. And a lot of harp teachers will say that, you know, the bare minimum is like 29 strings. This kind of instrument, where it's strings held at tension against a soundboard and a crook here, it's fairly represented in most cultures. You know, you've got like the African kora, which could be one of the earlier ones, really. Davidic lyres, Grecian lyres. The taxonomy of instruments is fascinating. And yeah, the harps are probably, I'd say, on the older side of things. Instruments don't like not being played, which is good, because you should play them. Other than that, they don't need a huge amount of maintenance if you get something with good levers. Less quality levers have a nasty habit of just like sort of bending. Or you can tell when they're not quality is because they bend very easily, which means that your intonation is forever out. I can't overstate how important good levers are for a harp, because unless of course you just want to sort of leave it in A tuning and never change it, but you know, it means that you're very much limiting yourself to what you can do with your instrument. Really, other than playing it, you don't need to do a lot with them, really.